Let's talk about something a little bit weird. There's a football prediction engine out there that sounds like it belongs in a biology lab, speaking this very strange, very specific language to predict matches. Today, we're going to crack that code.
All right, let's just jump right in. To get what this thing is doing, we first have to learn its language. And it's a weird one. Take this, for example. Structural integrity. Yeah, sounds serious, doesn't it?
And then there's this one, metabolic cooling. Seriously, you think we're in a science class, not talking about a Premier League match? What does that even mean?
And it keeps going like that. This whole system has its own unique, kind of bizarre way of looking at football. But here's the kicker. What if this crazy-sounding language is actually the secret code to predicting the beautiful game? I mean, really think about that. What if you could map out a football match just like a biological system? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to decode the KEI ATPase 3.0 system, translate all this jargon, and see what it's telling us about the games this weekend.
Okay, first things first. We have to crack this code. Before we can even look at the predictions, we've got to get a handle on the vocabulary. So let's translate this stuff into actual football talk.
All right, the big one, the one you're going to see everywhere, is structural integrity. Think of this as the system's catch-all term for a team's core identity. It's everything. Their formation, how well they play together, their current form. It's like their tactical DNA all wrapped up in one. So, to put it simply, if the system says a team has high structural integrity, it means they're a well-oiled machine. They're reliable, they're in form, they're stable. It's not just about possession stats. It's about how solid and predictable their whole setup is, almost like a healthy organism.
Okay, next term, metabolic cooling. And this one is actually brilliant. It perfectly captures that moment we all know, right? A team gets a comfortable lead, say 2-0, and then they just ease off. They take their foot off the gas to save some energy for the next game.
And this is so clever because it shows the system isn't just looking at stats before the game starts. No, it's actually predicting in-game tactics. It's factoring in things like a team managing a busy schedule by shifting down a gear. It's all about that in-the-moment game management.
And the last one for now is friction total. This is basically the system's code for a match that's, well, a bit of a slog to watch. You know the type. A scrappy, congested battle in the midfield where both teams just cancel each other out. Not many chances, and probably not many goals.
Okay, so now that we know the lingo, structural integrity, metabolic cooling, friction total, how does it all come together? Let's take a look at the system's actual forecast for this weekend's Premier League action.
Right, here it is, the output matrix, and you can see all our new terms right here in the key reason column. Look at Chelsea versus Aston Villa. It's flagged with kinase overload. That's system speak for a wild, open, end-to-end game. Then you've got Burnley versus Everton, a textbook extreme friction total, which screams under 2.5 goals. And notice for Liverpool, it's pointing out a fatigue constraint. Super interesting.
But wow, just look at that top line. One number just pops right out. 0.93. That's a 93% confidence level for a Man City win. And the reason? Elite structural disparity, which, now that we know the language, means the system sees a massive gulf in class, form, and overall stability between City and Forest.
So the system doesn't just give you predictions, it actually tells you what to do with them. It translates all this data into what it calls a strategic allocation. Basically, it's the system's ranking of the best plays for the weekend.
And here's that list. It's all ranked by confidence. Right at the top, you've got Manchester City as the ultra banker. That's its absolute #1 can't-miss pick. Then you've got Arsenal as a strong value play. And then look at the Burnley versus Everton game. It's labeled a risk shield, kind of like a safer bet to balance things out.
And this is what's really cool. It doesn't just list them, it actually suggests how to weigh them. It's telling you to put the biggest chunk of your focus, a full 35% on that top pick, the Man City win. It's giving you a clear, data-driven hierarchy of what it's most confident about.
But it's not just about the numbers. The system adds some really important context. For example, look at this note about Liverpool. Even though it predicts they'll win, it specifically warns that the structural integrity of their attack is weak right now. And it tells you straight up, expect fewer goals than the market is predicting. Now that's what I call nuance.
And this thing isn't just locked on the Premier League. Nope, it's scanning all across Europe, looking for those high-confidence signals. And look what it found. Celtic, with an even higher confidence score of 94%.
It's also flagging Juventus and Rangers as other super strong ultra bankers you should know about this weekend.
You know, when you see all of this laid out, it really makes you think. It leads to a much bigger question. When you have a system that can crunch this much data and spit out predictions with this kind of confidence, what does that actually mean for the future of how we analyze football?
So here's the thing to chew on. Does a system like this, the KEI ATPase 3.0, suck all the magic and randomness out of the beautiful game? Or is it just giving us a new language, a new tool to finally see the hidden patterns that were there the whole time? Maybe, just maybe, understanding the biology of a football match doesn't make it less special. Maybe it just helps us appreciate its incredible, complex, living structure even more.